Alright, we're going to do a little demonstration video here using a mold. This is going to be using a polyester gel coat from Pigment and a United Initiator 925H catalyst. We're going to be spraying a clear coat here. We're going to do a demonstration video showing how you can manipulate one of our wood grain veils and changing the color. Alright, we're back now. Gel coat has been applied, it's dried. We're getting ready to apply the veil. In this case, it's going to be an Italian alder. Got really good wood graining to it. We've got our chop strand mat cut here. We've got our catalyst, which is a 925H by United Initiators. This catalyst gives you the most amount of working time that you can get when you're dealing with clear coats or resins. And when you're dealing with veils, the most important thing is to get the air entrapment from underneath it, so you want working time. This is going to give you the most working time before you're going to start to see the viscosities rise and it's starting to gel, and you're not going to be able to work that air out. These are the colors that we're going to do. We're going to do a yellow, a red, and a white. So we're going to break this into three, and basically you'll start to see that when I pull this out of the mold, you'll see the color variations that you'll see once it's been pulled from the mold. So stick around. Watch the video. I don't like any of that. Alright, we're back now. We've got the gel coat been applied. It's dry. We are now getting ready to apply the veil. This is going to be an Italian alder wood grain. Sort of on the lighter side. We're doing this because when we're doing a color manipulation video, you really see the difference when you use a different backing color on these lighter veils. So we're going to do a white, a red, and a yellow. We'll break this into thirds. So what we'll do in the steps, we're going to basically put down another layer of clear coat. And this time I'm not going to spray it, I'm just going to brush it on the small mold. And because really what you're trying to do is get the veil down, get all the air entrapment out from underneath it, and half of it I'm going to do a detail roller, and then the other half I'm going to do a rubber squeegee or a silicone squeegee, which a lot of our customers use. In the steps of doing that, we're going to use a United Initiator 925H catalyst. This is going to give you the most amount of working time that you're going to get with any catalyst out there in a gel coat or a resin. And when you're dealing with veils, you want working time. You want to have enough working time to get the air that's been entrapped under it worked to the side and off from part. And then once we get that down and it gels over, then we're going to come back and do the color manipulation with the fiberglass, the chop strand glass here, and we're going to tint the resin. So what you got is basically a clear coat, veil, a clear coat, and then behind it is where you're going to start to manipulate the resin color, and then what that does is it changes. Alright, we're back now. We've mixed up our clear coat. Now you can use a resin for your backing side where you're saturating the veil. It actually wets out a lot easier. The downside of that is your resin, unless it's a really clear resin, that resin, most of them are ambers or greens, depending on if it's a DCPD or an ortho or a blend or an ISO. They're all going to have different color variations. That's going to manipulate the color of the veil all by itself. So I'm going with just a clear gel coat. And pretty much any of the clear gel coats, as you see on the website, they're all pretty much equal. As long as you're using a high quality I like the marine grade gel coats just because of the UV purposes. They got way better UV in them. The lower viscosity gel coat that you use, the better wet out you're going to get, the less air entrapment that you're going to get. So what I have noticed out of all the gel coats that we have trialed and sampled, the lowest viscosity one out there is Duratec. All the other ones are pretty much the same. And again, they're all going to work. So what we're doing here, we're just getting this out. I got a chunky there. Is what you call basically the saturation coat. And what you're doing is trying to get the veil down. What you're going to end up needing is a detail roller and or a rubber silicone squeegee. And again, we've got customers that swear by both. So now we're putting the veil face down because this is a mold application. We want to see the wood grain. This is not a post-app. So for all the people that are watching this going, why is he putting it down? With the mold, what we're looking to do is get the manufacturers are building parts, tabletops, things like that. So, and they're doing constant repetition. So they'll have a mold with the exact surface that they want, and they'll put the wood grain down or a carbon or whatever, and when they pull it out of the mold, that's what's going to be on the surface behind the clear coat. It's way faster than doing a post-app. All right, so you can see you got a good wet out already. I'm going to probably come back and mix up a little bit more gel coat, just because I thought I might have been a little light on this, and I think I am. So again, you want good wet out. And you see I'm pushing resin around and it wets those areas out. The reason why I hung so much over on this side and not on that side is there is a part of the wood grain right here that I really wanted to see. I have something under the surface. Probably shouldn't have used an old cup because I'm getting some chunks out of it. That's the one thing with these detail rollers. You can pretty much feel anything that's on the surface. So if you do have something there, you know, until it gels, and again, we're using that 925H catalyst, so I'm going to have an extended open time of working all the air out. You can see the air, you can see it here. I push that air bubble around, and what you're trying to do is make sure you're working all of that off to the edges. Same thing you can feel when you got some boogers under there. I apologize for this, but I didn't think there was too many debris in that cut. So the one thing that a lot of guys, when they use the squeegee, they are really draining a veil of any resin. It's good because if it's got no resin there, in all likelihood, you're going to have no air either. So like I said, I'm going to do half of this with just a roller. And then I'm going to do the other half with the squeegee. I still like using the roller to get the edges. Way better than the squeegee, in my opinion. Just it's perfect to get into those corners, drive it into the corners. You can see the veil on the side when I do that pull in, and you know you're nice and tight, and bring it up over the edge. I don't think I'm going to need any more resin. I need a little bit over here on this side just to wet. Alright, time for a new cut. Alright, we are mixing up some of our pigments right now. We've done the white. Basically, we're just using our pigments. In this case, this one's going to be the yellow. These are uncatalyzed right now. I'm just getting them ready for when that gel coat's dry. We can go ahead and start. All right, we've got the first color mixed up here. Sort of just pre-cut the chop strand mat. It's gelled, it's a little tacky on the backside is what you want. So we're gonna go ahead and do these sort of in thirds. And the first one we're gonna do is the red. So this is basically 3 ounce of chop strand mat here. Most of the people that are watching this video are going to be manufacturers, so you guys already know, but there are some DIYers that are watching this. Just for their purpose, mostly the fiberglass here has a binder on it, and that binder is what makes this stiff. And the styrene that is in the resin helps break that binder down and basically dissolve, and then it'll basically, like we used to, like to say, it sort of, the glass sort of melts into place. But really what's going on is that binder breaks down, and then the glass just sort of wants to sit into place. It'll go into these convex corners nicely once it breaks down. And it does take a second, you know, to get it to break down. So there will be some overlap where the glass goes from one to the other. This is not going to be a perfect. I don't have anything taped off. I'm just sort of the water sits on there. The resin will continue to break this down. What I'm looking for is a good wet out. I don't know, because this is one to hang up here. It won't hang up, it'll stay down. So I just gotta keep brushing in some extra resin, and over time here it will start to break down and go into place. You see it's really starting to break down now. Go into place nicely. Whereas the next one here is going to be yellow. Just catalyzed it. Again, like I said, there will be some overlap. That is perfect. So the color white, or like a light beige, that is going to keep your veil basically in the same color Pantone as it is when it comes to you. So if you like exactly the color that you're getting, then you basically are just going to use a white or like a light beige pigment in the gel coat or resin. You're going to use a resin pigment it, because you can use a resin. But the white or the beige will keep it pretty much exactly the same color. And you'll see that when we pull this. You'll see that this area, the yellow will have obviously a little bit more color to it than what the white will. But the red should be drastically different. So this will be a new one for me to see the color manipulation with this particular pattern. And once I get this down and that binder is broke down completely, I'm going to come and I'm going to roll all this out. Okay, we got 6 ounces of chop strand mat applied now. We'll go ahead and let this cure. It's going to take a little bit because again we're using 925H catalyst. It gives us a lot of working time. As you see, this is still in a liquid state, it hasn't even started to gel up. All right, we're back. Fully cured. It's been about an hour and a half. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. So this is the veil, the color of it, and I'm going to grab the camera. All right, so you can see the graining where the white was. It's pretty much identical. You know, the camera is not picking up exact, but you can see it's pretty much the identical color. So if you want the veil to look exactly the way it is when you receive it, you're going to use a white or a beige, light beige, that's going to keep that exact tone. The yellow, obviously you have more of a yellow tone. One of our prints, the amber oak, has more of that yellow toning to it. And then obviously the red. So if you look at the graining in it, It's so hard to see with the way the camera is. But it looks real good. The graining's real good. Okay, so there you have it. We've applied the veil. So this little video is good for anybody that is looking to do a manipulation of the color, but it's also the exact thing you're going to do just for applying the veil. This section here that we did, this is exactly the process that you are going to use to duplicate this in an in-mold application every single time. You're going to spray your clear coat, 20 mils, you're going to let it cure. From there, you are going to apply another 15 to 20 mils, either spraying it on or rolling it on, brushing it on. And immediately you're going to apply the veil face down towards the face of the mold. You're going to make sure that you got good, good wet out, complete saturation of the veil. And then you're going to make sure that you get all the air out, either using a detail roller or a rubber silicone squeegee. Both of what I showed here in the video, and we did it on this section where we used the squeegee and the detail roller, and you see there is zero air at all on this. So once you get that down, then you're going to end up letting that cure, which is your second. So basically we have the veil sandwiched in between two clear coats. Now you're going to pigment your resin white or a cream color if you want to keep it this color. You know, the standard color, which would be that color. Then you're going to pigment it, and as soon as you're done pigmenting, you're going to go ahead and start applying your chopped fiberglass and or your chopped strand mat. And that's it. You're going to let it cure, pull the part. So the same process is going to be done with pigmenting a different color to the back. You're still sandwiching the veil in between two clear coats. Your backing color with your fiberglass is where you're going to pigment the color that you want the veil to turn. Pretty much what we've done here. Hope this video helps you. If you got any other questions, you can always reach out to us. Thank you.